It's important to recognize that the history between the two goes way back. That is, there have been relations, interactions, and battles between the Chinese and the Tibetans since at least the 7th century, when the Tibetans had an expanding empire and managed over the course of the next couple of centuries to conquer about a third of China. In the 13th century, both the Tibetans and the Chinese were annexed by the Mongol Empire, with the descendants of Genghis Khan, and then both also regained their independence after Mongol power waned. And following that, there were actually numerous interactions in terms of the Chinese tribute system. From the Chinese point of view, this was seen as the Tibetans offering tribute to the emperor. From the Tibetan point of view, the government thought, well, these are independent monasteries acting independently of the government, so they didn't see it as having any ramification for the government itself. But during all this time, China continued to claim Tibet as part of its territory. After the last imperial dynasty, the Qing dynasty, was overthrown by the nationalists in 1911, one of the core programs that the nationalists proposed was to regain China's lost territories. In the latter part of the Qing dynasty, many, many territories had either gained independence or been taken over by other colonial powers. And the nationalists believed that this was a weakening of China, and that for China to be strong again, it was important that China get big again. So this became a matter of national pride, but it also became connected with a sense of national survival. That is, that it was believed that without these lost territories, China would lose its ability to defend itself. And the analogy that's used very commonly in China is that Tibet is the back door to China's apartments. And so the analogy is that if the door is open, thieves can come in and rob the place. But if you're able to shut the door, then you can keep the house secure. And so this is something you see over and over again. But the other part of this, too, is when you look at official Chinese pronouncements about Tibet, there's a very strong sense, and I just saw a transcript about this the other day from one of China's current leaders, and he pointed out that these minority areas constitute almost a half of China's total landmass. So they're often barren, scarcely populated, but they have vast mineral resources like iron and coal and uranium and so forth. And he pointed out that if China were to lose Tibet, then next probably would be Xinjiang, which is a major source of uranium and of raw materials and so forth. And if you were to take all of the areas where ethnic Tibetans are the majority, this constitutes almost a quarter of China's total landmass. For the Chinese, size matters. And so if you're going to be secure, you have to be big. The Chinese see an amoral world in which the strong conquer the weak. And so unless China is big and strong, it will be open to the intrigues of the foreign imperialists who they believe want to take over China and enslave its people.